on the left or the right? I thought we were on the right. What's that? Yeah. I think on the right.
Whatever. Are you walking on first? No, we are walking on first.
Well, I'm just going by what we did on.
We are on the left. That's what we did in the But you guys are going to be up on. You
guys are below.
Okay, but you're on top of it.
Oh, I know that.
Oh, and so we're going to be facing. Donnie. Yeah.
You can't watch him? He likes me and audio.
You need to find that girl. Yes. You have a pen? Get out of here. Right here, right here.
You guys are going. Hey, Carey.
Welcome, everybody.
You guys are going.
Welcome. Welcome again to the wedding of Sherri and Carey. It's beautiful. And is this room the most gorgeous wedding room? So put it all together, and what we have in this room is love tonight. And Carey and Sherri carry love into every room they ever go into anyway, but tonight it's special. And their wedding is so special because they are two of the most fabulous people that any of us have ever met. And I know you all agree with me. Oh yeah. Don't you? I mean, come on. And to see two people like this get together is really wonderful. And they have a special story. Carey, and you know, I like to call it when Sherri met Carey. I need the glasses because I want to tell you a story. Once upon a time, on September 16, 1999, there was an awards dinner. It was held in the Marina. Some of you may remember it because a very special thing happened besides the meeting of Carey and Sherri that night, which I will outline in a minute. And this dinner was to honor a friend of many of ours and a special friend of Sherri and Carey, Bob Timmons, among other people. Share is a umbrella organization that the dinner was being thrown for, and they were honoring people from AA and various recovery groups. And one of the groups was recovery from circumcision. Recovery from circumcision. And I got permission to leave this on. And Carey, being a victim, was listening very closely. Very, very closely. But what happened that overcame that special moment where we were all laughing so hard, I mean, I hate to say that, but Carey and Sherri saw each other across the room. And Sherri was taking tickets and money, once again starting her career in service to those who need it. And Carey was, cruising the room. And he went across and they spoke. And they liked each other very much. The sparks started to fly. And the next day they went to an AA meeting at the Palisades, and Carey went to make his move. And who was standing right over Sherri's shoulder? Her sponsor. As Carey said, like an Italian grandma. And even though he broke through, and he asked her out, and he picked her up for a real date at her sober living, where she was living at the time. And they had to be back by curfew. And They went to Bruno's restaurant, you know, Carey, Caruso. Bruno's restaurant. Bruno's restaurant, and they talked, and he took her home to the sober living. He got her home by curfew, and they made out in front of the sober living, ran in the car, and they've been together ever since that night. 11 years and 2 days. Talk about a long courtship. And during that time, they both rebuilt their lives, both professionally and personally, in a beautiful way that we've all who know them have been able to see. Really different people stand before you, that people who are the kind of people that everybody aspires to be, at least those that I know. And they've turned to AA, and recovery, as you can see, there's a theme here. Recovery and AA is the theme of this. And a lot of what they do together, a lot of what they care about, a lot of what, I mean, I saw Sherri with her sponsees, and I'm one of Carey's sponsees. And so you see the love and the goodness that they share with humanity as a result of that recovery. And there's another component here, and that component is a human component. And she's standing right there. And her name is Constance, please. And Constance was 11 years old when this relationship started in front of that sober living. And as many of you have seen, and at least in my family, sometimes when there are children, older children, almost teenage children involved, it can be a source of tension. Well, exactly the opposite happened here. Constance has been a source of joy and happiness for these two. And Constance and Sherri share a relationship which is really indescribable by words, but it's loving, close, and she has been a huge part of this entire affair, which is a long affair. Comes into special mention tonight. Now, it's not just Carey and Sherri that we're honoring here. It's two families, couldn't have been more different than you could, you know, it's a real LA wedding, you know what I mean? Carey's Italians, you can see him over here, the emotion is coming. Sherri's Southerners, you know, and it's Sherri's wish that the Southerners and Sherri's family will come to love Spoogie. And that's Sherri's wish, and it's Carey's wish that the Italians will come to love Greece. We can marry these families in food as well as tradition, and their families are so important to them, and they wanted me to especially single them out because the love in this room is really coming from the families, and you can see the smiles from both sides. And I talk to people in their family, and you know, they love, Sherri's family loves Carey more than Sherri sometimes, and Carey's family does the same, and it's that kind of relationship. So this is a nice thing, being a nice thing. Now, Sherri and Carey are really special people, and they run their life according to the principles that they've learned over the past 11 years. They run their life through service to humanity. They are kind. They are happy all the time. You see them smiling up here. There's, you know, when they walk into a room, it's never, oh my God, here comes Sherri and Carey. It's like, wow, here they are. Because, you know, the love from them comes from way down deep in a place where it can't be seen. Like through the smiles that they have, you know, these people are so loved. And the service that they provide to the community in various ways, not just AA, although I saw Sherri surrounded by her sponsees and Carey the same tonight, but the service in their professions, what Sherri does with her home, what Carey does in his practice, is something that makes me proud to be with them. And they wanted me to share with you the principle that they live by. And that principle is in a prayer. They're all for prayer and meditation also. And the prayer that they live by is the one that a lot of people know and live. And that's the St. Francis prayer. And they wanted me to read that. Because this is the way they live their life. God, make me a channel of thy peace. That where there is hatred, may I bring love. That where there is wrong, may I bring the spirit of forgiveness. That where there is discord, may I bring harmony. That where there is error, I may bring truth. That where there is doubt, I may bring faith. That where there is despair, I may bring hope. That where there is shadows, I may bring light. Where there is sadness, I may bring joy. May I bring joy. And God, they ask, grant that I seek to comfort rather than to be comforted, to understand rather than to be understood, and to love rather than to be loved. And that's the way they live their life. And that's a beautiful way to live. I think we'll all agree. So, let's do it. Did a certain gentleman with the same name as the groom bring the rings? Oh. Now these rings are a tangible token of faith and abiding love, and they symbolize the circle of life, and that brings you, hopefully, together forever. And Sherri, would you place your ring on Terry's finger? And repeat after me. In the presence of God, and in the presence of my friends and family, I take you, Carey, to be my husband, promising with divine assistance to be unto you a loving and faithful wife, in good times and in rough times, so long as you both shall live. And Carey, will you place the ring that you purchased that I heard about? Repeat after me. In the presence of God.
In the presence of God.
And these my friends and family.
And these my friends and family.
I may take you, Sherri.
May I take you, Sherri.
To be my loving wife.
To be my loving wife.
Promising.
Promising.
With divine assistance.
With divine assistance.
To be unto you.
To be unto you.
A loving and faithful husband.
A loving and faithful husband.
In good times.
In good times.
And in tough times.
And in tough times.
Now, all of you. Do you give your blessing to the marriage of Carey Caruso and Sherri? I now pronounce you